Okay, I got poems for you. The first one I'm going to try and do from memory because it's for an audition later.
Woo!
Right. And the next word is things. All right. Here goes. I pull up to the house and I don't recognize any of the vehicles. My mother is driving her new car that she got after the accident that she didn't tell me about because we don't talk as much as we used to. The house is middle of the day dark, and my crunching steps activate the motion light above the door. The dog house is my reflection, still, dark, empty. I enter, and the house exhales a shallow, crackling breath, like a sheet folding in on itself, like a house of cards falling down, like something is missing. Obviously, that something would be my dead grandparents. My mother greets me when I walk in, and I'm startled. Her voice doesn't sound like someone who, as of 15 hours ago, doesn't have any parents anymore. The house is the same as I remember. I was here last week, for fuck's sake, here to watch Grandma. She never liked to be home alone after she got back from the hospital. After Parker got back from the hospital. After the hospital. It was only the same conversation with the skipping record. You should eat carrots to avoid bloody noses. Thank you, Grandma. You should move to Hollywood. I'm not that good of an actor, Grandma. Your other grandma hates me. She doesn't hate you, Grandma. But we don't talk as much as we used to. We didn't talk as much as we used to. It's death in two parts. We're in Grandma's room now. Sheets are being folded. There's a coffee ring and a half-drunk mug. Still, dark, empty. She'll never finish it now. Exhale. A simple question. Did you find her in her room? Opens a wound which leads to a story which bleeds into our card game that we play on the table where we used to have Thanksgiving dinner. So my mother's eyes are cracking floodgates and she needs time to repair them before she drives home. She lives alone and we don't talk as much as we used to. Silence. The sound of cards slapping a table. My mother tells me that talking about what happened has helped her. And her voice sounds like someone who, as of 18 hours ago, doesn't have any parents anymore. I leave the house. Every light is off. Even the dog is dead. It's still dark, empty. And this time I don't mean metaphorically, I mean actually physically devoid of people. And this is a feat that I don't think has happened in 35 years. The light above the door is a motion light. It turns on when I leave. And then it never turns on again. Thanks. I got another one. It's about my grandpa, but he's not dead in this one. So different grandpa. This one's called Father. I don't have this one. My brother does this thing where he siphons the stories from people, usually old people because they have the best stories. I drive through the old homestead, the fog of my emotions, the haze of my memories. My father does this thing where he holds his little hands at his waist, twisting them inside one another. We are 3 generations eating Domino's pizza, defined by death and divorce, not there and not existing yet. My grandfather is 90. He has tails made flesh, and my brother pulls them like a rope from because he has discovered the Ham Lake census data from 1940. My grandfather tells stories of the missing generation. His father can't work because he's a welfare brat. His mother died young. Stepmother, an angel, gave him socks when his father was crying because they cut him off. My father tells underbreath mumbles of lost arguments and lost respect. He gives me socks for Christmas. Father drank a lot. You get to pick what I'm talking about. Maybe alcoholism skips a generation. If so, I fear for my children. Grandpa joined the Navy. His father got a job every day, worked it through sickness and in health, a marriage of money and mind because of the paycheck meant freedom, and freedom meant everything. My grandfather finds his dad at work, Navy uniform coated in the expectations of his brothers. So he went and did it. The story kind of trails off there, the way old people's stories do, kind of like young person poems. I helped my dad set up the TV on Christmas because he didn't use the Guitar Center gift card from last year. Thanks. It's okay. I got one more. It's real short. Okay. His eyes lollygag across the words, but he's not actually reading. You can tell because he turns a page, only to turn back, realizing they didn't digest what he just read. It takes a long time to read this one. With one's mind elsewhere, anywhere, no one but here like a fly in amber, encased in a single moment of waiting for her. Feeling the lights outside rub his back, but not in the scratchy way that she does it. He clutches his phone. He turns back a page, checks the time, actually registers these numbers, and wonders if this is routine. Him waiting in silence, alone in a restaurant, looking like some pathetic fuck who never managed to make friends, food on the counter sitting as undigested as the words in his hands. Her on her way, late, and always disappointing. He turns back a page. Thanks.